Hello, Todd here, and today we're going to do a review on the Hyperkin Admiral Premium Controller. Little disclaimer, no one from Hyperkin asked me to do this review, and no one from DKOldies.com, the website that I purchased this from, asked me to do a review. This is simply my personal review of the product and to add content to my channel. So this is the packaging that it comes in. I ended up getting the black unit. You can see that it's pretty good packaging. I've always liked Hyperkin's packaging as far as everything that they come in. You also get what they call a doogle, which is the part that hooks into your Nintendo 64. It also has a place for your memory card, so you can put your old memory card into this. Also, you have the ability to transfer that memory onto an SD card if you prefer to as well. So this gives you all of that information as well. This is basically your transmitter that would go into your console. Then you also get the actual controller as well. Pretty standard as far as the design. I will tell you that the layout is a little bit different than your standard Nintendo 64 controller wired unit. So your placement of your buttons is very similar on this side. You've got your up, down, side to side, your BA, which is the same as the Nintendo. You also have the start button, which is in the very center. The left side is a little bit different. Instead of having the joystick in the very center, it's upper on the left, and your cross pad is down here on the right. Z-pads are on the front, ZZ, and your left-right. So as far as layout, pretty good. A little different on the crossbar and the joystick, but all in all, really good design. Very light controller to begin with. So you feel like you're not the same. I would say probably about half the weight of the Nintendo 64 wired controller. So played this for a couple of weeks and really like it. Haven't found any lag issues with it. Haven't found anything that would concern me as well. A few questions that some of my followers have asked. What about the buttons? They feel cheap, whatnot. In comparison to the original, they're not movie, they're not sloshy, they're not what I would consider cheap. I think that they put a lot of effort into making this as easily as possible to the original, and I don't think that they spared a lot of expense in making sure that's right. I do think it's lighter. It might feel a little cheaper to other people just because of the weight, but it doesn't bother me much, especially if I'm playing this for 2 or 3 hours. I like the fact that it's very light, very nimble. I could sit there and just play with it without feeling. As far as the actual placement, I don't feel discomfort in holding it either. Some people have asked if it feels uncomfortable holding, and I personally don't feel that way. I feel like it's very solid in that respect. I've dropped it multiple times, haven't had any issues with it, and pairing it up is pretty easy. A little complicated as far as instructions go. I don't have the owner's manual right in front of me to show you. It doesn't really list how to do this really well unless you fine read the print. So basically you would plug in your dongle, turn on your system, press the sync button while you're turning on the controller, which has a button on the top here. Once you do that, a few seconds later, it'll pair with a blue button or blue light showing here and on the dongle as well. So, first thoughts and feelings on it. I think it's a great controller. I like how it feels. I like how it plays. I've played racing games. I've played Mario Party. I've played a couple different games with it just to see if there's any lag with it. And of course, I do have other things in the house that are Bluetooth that are just as crisp as this is. So I really did not see anything that would concern me about lag with playing with this. And all in all, I enjoyed doing it. So, final thoughts on it. I think it's a great controller for the money. You could buy original, what is it, Wavebird, I think it is, Wavebird, for original. That's obviously now going to be almost 20 years old. And I don't think that you're going to get the same results out of it just because of the age. Do I wish it was more like the original? Yes. Do I think that it could be different? Yes, but I think that they designed a good controller for the modern world. Obviously, this can also be used on PC, Mac, and Android. So you have that ability to use it on multiple consoles, especially if you're a 90s guy or girl that likes to play with this type of controller, this type of setup. This would be really cool to have for some of your modern games if you felt like that's what you wanted. So my rating is still 5 stars out of 5 stars. I've never found anything with it that I don't like aside from maybe how it may feel. Sometimes Hyperkin is one or the other. You either get something really, really good or something really, really bad. They really haven't hit that middle a lot, but I think they really scored well on this premium controller, and I think it's worth the money to pay for it as well. That would be my suggestion if you're looking for a controller that does it. So, what's your thoughts on the Admiral Hyperkin? Have you played with it? Do you want to play with it? And if you have, tell me what your concerns are. What you've ran into that doesn't work really well. I'd love to hear your comments in the bottom below. Also, like and subscribe if you like this channel and like this kind of content. And also, if you have any things that you'd like me to review or things that you'd like me to talk about and give my 2 cents on, I would be more than happy to do that. I love to have things on content on there, and you supporters are the ones that do that. Well, that's all I have today. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.